if I've got a handful of paints, a painterly brush, and some sticky labels, what am I up to this time? Hi guys, it's Ceri the Crafter here, that's C-E-R-I the Crafter, and it's the first of the month again, and it's time for Colour Combo. If you're not familiar with Colour Combo, it's something that's been going on for a few years now. It's generated by colour combination requests from subscribers, followers and likers, and it's run by myself in conjunction with Paula Keane in the Netherlands and Estella Banks in America to make sure this all works smoothly. It's also run in conjunction with the Makers of Mixed Media Art and Artists group on Facebook, and there will be a link to them below. And as you've probably found this either via YouTube then or my own Facebook page, which is Ceri Griffiths Creative Designs, you might know what this is about. So basically, the subscribers or whoever requests the colour combinations, and I've already got at least a year and a half's worth waiting to be done, which is great news. They choose 3 colours that have to be seen in the final piece. You then have the option of black, white and a metallic as optional. And then there is now a mark making element being added this year. So you have to somehow make marks on your final piece. You can use found items, you can use stencils, you can use foam stamps, rubber stamps, cling stamps, your little hands, a fork from the kitchen, whatever you wish it to be. So what are the colours this time? So, as with Colour Combo, I always say don't rush out and buy paint specifically coloured. Get as close as you can. The colours we have on a little postcard, which is what we post in our social media, are actually Pantone colours and Pantone names, and I try to get the close as I can. So the first one is Chateau Rose, which isn't far off this colour, so I was quite happy about that. Pink is not colour I really have a lot of, and this is a non-brand, which means I've made up the colour at some point in my life. Teal. Now the teal that comes from Pantone is teal to me, but this is too dark, and this is teal in shuttle art, so I think I'm going to mix the 2 of them together, and I might find something that hits sort of the mid ground for that. Another one of the colours is bronze. Now, the bronze I've got, it says it's bronze, so I'm going with the label here, is not exactly the bronze they've got. But what's happening here is it means that I've got bronze as almost a metallic, and I'm going to have a metallic in there. And this is a pearlized sort of paint, but you'll find it fine with shiny. For my metallic, I'm going to use this, which is sort of a brass, an antique brass colour. And then obviously I have the black and the white as well. Now to make the marks, I've taken a letter out of a letter. I've taken the note out of Froyle Davies's creativity, and she uses just a silicone pastry brush to make marks. And I thought, you know what, I'm just going to try that and see what that comes up, because the mark making is actually brush marks. So what are we doing today? Right, let's move those to one side. Now, those of you who followed me for a while know I like to use up spare paints on many different things. One of the things is sticky labels, and I have a whole box full of sticky labels, which are rectangular or square, large or small, and I use them when I mail out Happy Mail. I use them to do collage backgrounds. I just use them, and they're pretty little pieces of art. However, lately I've been playing around with the idea of doing circular labels. And here are some of them. I'm doing that because I very much like structure, square and rectangles, straight lines. Don't really like diagonals, trying to embrace that one. And I don't use circles as patches of colour. I use circles as mark making, but for some reason a circle of colour doesn't always work for me. So I'm trying to embrace that. And I found using labels, this is just a few I've made so far, are a great way to have a little additive. Now I can just use these as a label. I can use them in mixed media background. Obviously they were popular, there's not left of those. And I'm beginning to really like the little ones. And these are just made up with spare pieces of paint, just some mark making. So if I'm stamping numbers onto something with acrylic paint, I've got some acrylic paint there. I'll pull out one of these and stick it over the top. Particularly like that one. I think it's 2 of these, I think. Yeah, I was doing these at the same time. So as you can see, I'm going to do something like this, but I'm going to do it in Colour Combo style. And what I've done is, I'm not sure, I'm going to lift these up and see whether you can see. Okay, there's circles on here. It was just a sheet of cheap circle labels, and these are bigger circles. I want to say these are 2 and these are 3 inches. So let's just see if I can have a quick whizzy at that. Actually, those are the big ones, are 3.5. I've got a feeling these are 2 inches. Yeah, I'd say probably 2 inches. So I'm just going to do 2 sheets of them. Just to build up my stash, really. I'm going to use, I've got a 3x5 gel press on, it's only on the tile. I mean, it doesn't even need to be on the tile. I could put it, probably, actually I can just put it on the surface. It's not going to be picked up, sorry about the noise. You've got that in shot. So the sun is shining off the screen of my iPad, so I can't really see a lot. Now, I'm going to be using a 4-inch brayer. You don't need to be using a brayer and a gel press for this. You could do this by scraping paint on, by painting paint on. What I would say though is keep your layers of paint really thin. If you put thick paint onto labels, what will happen as it dries, the area here, hopefully you can see that, the join between the label and the surrounding paper fills up. So then when you take the surrounding paper off, it sometimes tears your label. Now, some people say, well, why don't you just take the thing off in the first place? The paint will still build up on the background and still cause me a problem. So that for me is one no-no. Also, I very rarely put the label directly onto a gel plate because it's likely to suction the labels right off the paper. Just a little word of warning, that's all I'm trying to say. Right, now as these are white, I'm going to leave bits of white on this. I'm quite thinking I like a little bit of white. So I'm just going to come in. I'm just putting a little tiny bit of paint on my gel plate. And I want to make sure there's not too much. I need some book pages, don't I? Come on, where are you? So I brayer off excess paint onto a book page. So I'm just going to do a gentle swipe over there to remove some of it. And I'm just going to run this down. And I just want to do it ever so lightly. I'm letting the weight of the brayer do the job for me. Now, if you're repeating things on here, don't forget, every single one of these will be an individual piece at the end of the exercise. So there you go. So I'm just going to take the rest of that excess off there. Now, I expect this to be quite a quick video, unless I gossip a lot, obviously, because this is quite a quick process. Like, that's layer 1 done. Now, I want to come in. I want to play around with this teal colour. I want to just get a little bit of each on here. Oh, that's probably a lot on there. And a little bit of this on there. Yeah, the teal that Pantone has is quite a peculiar one. I'm just going to take that bit of paint off and just put it on my book because I know it'll be too much otherwise. It's an unusual colour teal to me. It's not like any teal I've seen before anyway, let's put it that way. Right, again, I've got a bit much on my braid, just going to run it over there, and I'm going to look at where did I go before. I go straight and horizontal and vertical. You don't need to, you do you. And this is very much one of those things where it's trust the process all the way. You've heard me say before, trust the process, trust the process, trust the process. I mean it, trust the process. I'm just going to brayer that out on there. I might just give me another little bit there. And again, just layer this on there, just to pick up paint. I don't mind a little bit of paint building up on there. I don't want a lot. And then these pieces of paper, they're just book pages. Once they dry, they'll just get added to again and again and again. And again, I make painty papers from them. And there's a video on that. In fact, I might put the video of that. There might be a link to that one below, actually. There is actually more than one painty label video from me. There's several out there. So if you look up on my YouTube channel, you look up arty labels or painty labels, anything like that, lots of this will come up. So I've got to this point. Now, I want to come in and I want to add a little bit of bronze. Now, it's all about layering, remember. It's all about layering. So a little tiny bit of bronze. I'm going to do something slightly different this time. Now, you saw it was a very small amount, so it's not going to have a lot of suction power. So I'm going to pick this up and actually just touch it down in areas. I'm not pressing it down and rubbing it down. I'm literally just touching it down and lifting it up. I want that sort of blotchy look, if that's a word I'm looking for. So it's absolutely glorious day here in Cardiff. It's just yesterday and today were absolutely stunning days. Although by about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, the clouds rolled in and it got a little ugly then. Let's just leave it at that. So again, just little bits. I don't mind lines in it. I'm okay with that. Right, tap that down. Now, that's as close to putting a gel plate onto a label as I will probably do. There are a couple of videos in the past where I've done this and I've put it on a gel plate, and true to form, you'll see in the video, it just lifts up directly. So just be aware, but I love using these. Where did I get these? Okay, I find in my local thrift and charity stores, there's usually a stationery department or an office stationery department where people have put part boxes of things. That's where I normally find my labels. Or I've got a store here called W.H. Smith's. It's a stationery store. Very often they've got overstock in their areas that are vastly reduced. Or friends actually who work in offices sometimes give them to me. So I've got a stash of them and I'm not upset by that. So now I've got this on the go. I want to come in and I know there's white on here, but I want to put white back into it. Well, that's a bit of a mess. Right. Again, just a little bit. And you see there's not a lot at all. And what I want to do is just add to the layers that are on here. Now, I must admit, I wanted to choose quite a quick make this morning. And I think this is going to be quite a quick make. And the reason I chose a quick make is today is the 1st of March. St. David's Day for anyone who's Welsh. Happy St. David's Day, or Dewi Sant, I think it is. I don't speak Welsh. Well, the little bits I do speak, I speak appalling. And the 1st of March is the beginning of hashtag Mixed Media March 25, which is a challenge I'm running. So I'm going to be releasing a video every single day of March, as will anyone else who's doing the challenge. They may not all be releasing videos. You can do videos, you can do imagery, you can do photographs of pieces you've done. You can collaborate with one other person so you can both do it over the month to take the pressure off. But myself, of course, I'm doing the whole thing on my own. Call me stupid, a lot of people have in the past. So I've got this on here now. I want to come back in with that teal again, and I'm going to start adding some other marks to this. I come back in with that blue again, just because that almost gave me the colour that I think it is. As I said, it is a little bit of a weird colour. Right, so just browing that out there. Now, this is a load of washi tape rolls stuck together to make this stamp. Somebody did ask me, could I make it into an actual foam stamp? I am working on it, guys. So I'm not sure when it will launch because I haven't actually finished drawing it up yet. As you know, I design products for PM Artist Studio, so keep an eye out. I am doing this as a foam stamp. It'll only be this side. I can't make a double-sided stamp. So, but I thought this is just a 3 and a 2, so I didn't know that was that interesting, but it is a lovely stamp, and you've seen me use it loads and loads of time. And to be honest, it would be quite nice to have it as a foam stamp instead of this, because I'm always scared one day I'm just going to snap it. I can just glue it back together again. So again, now I've got the paint on here. I just want to bring this down ever so slightly, almost skipping over areas just to enhance this. Do you know the bit I really love about doing these is at the end of doing this process, I'll have to reveal them. Like before they're fully dry normally, I take the backing paper, the excess paper off the sides, and it just, it's always that, oh, look at those moments. Well, hopefully it's an, oh, look at those moments. So watch out for that at the end of the video. I'll be doing that. Now, the only things I don't have on here now that are part of the criteria are things that are optional anyway, which was the black. The white I have put on there, that was the other optional, and my metallic. Now I'm going to put my metallic on, and I think I might put the metallic on as my brush strokes, because as I said, I don't normally, this is brand new. I only bought this yesterday, so I haven't used it yet. You're the first one. I'm wondering whether to take the handle off it actually. Would I like it with the handle or not? Now I'm going to leave the handle for the time being. I think eventually I'm going to get rid of, that's a huge handle to be stored here. So, right, let's put my brass down. Again, this is just a mixed pot of different brass colours or gold colours I've had in the past. So I'm not sure how I'm going to do this. So I'm just going to flop that on and do some curving stuff. Okay, I can see the attraction of this. I can see that I need more of it though. There you go, a goodly amount of that. Need to drag the brush through the gravy as it was. I'm trying to do movements that are fluid. I'm also looking at areas that have white in them. Now, obviously, these are circles. I don't actually know where the circles are on the page. I have a rough idea, and that is because, obviously, the layout of the labels is very formulaic. It's very structured. Now I'm doing curved. I could be doing straight if I wished. And I think that's enough. So I've now met all the criteria. I think that's going to need a wash, isn't it? Yeah, I don't want that drying up. So that's going to need a wash. Let's make a bit of brass coloured paper over here. Let's put a bit of brass on here as well. So all I've got left to do now is black. I just want to have a little bit of a moment just to think, have I really done enough for these? I think I have, to be honest with you. Oh, that's looking interesting, isn't it? You'll find that in a future video, I'm sure. So let me just wipe my hands a minute and have a bit of a think. Now, mark making was the criteria for the brush strokes. I now have to think what I want to put on top. I can do anything like the circles. They're mark making. I can add to this as long as I stay within the colours. So the mark making of the circles, yes, but it's done in the teal, so it's met that criteria. It's not mark making, it's teal. Let's have a thought. I just want to add something to this, I think, with a foam stamp. Actually, I'll bring in my favourite foam stamp. I made this, was it? Oh, I don't know when I made this. I feel like I've had this forever, and then I think I don't have it. I've had it forever. This is just pieces of card put together. There's definitely a video on this. If you look in the top right-hand corner of the video at the end, it will be there for you. It's probably going to be in the description box as well. Now, I want to come in, and I'm really fancying using this with a bit of the pink again. Just because I don't want the pink to get lost in the background. Pink is not my favourite colour, but that doesn't mean it has to be ostracised and put away. So, coming in, just putting down. This works better if you have something soft underneath your piece. I'm being really lazy and not going over to my storage area and picking up a piece of foam, but you could just put fun foam. You could even put some book pages under here. And as I say, whenever I use this, once you finish using it, just get yourself an old paintbrush and just brush it back and forth. And what that will do is it will take away anything that starts to clog up in there. And this cardboard stamp will last for years, I can assure you. So we're at the point now where I've got that. I just need to get rid of the pink. I think I want to come in and use the black now. I do need to question whether everything else is here that's supposed to be here. So I can see the teal, I can see the pink, I can see the bronze. The bronze actually isn't very dominant. I'll just take that out of there. I think I might want to put a bit more of the bronze on here. How would I add the bronze? I wonder, trying to find something else to make a mark with. I'm not sure it's going to show up much, but this is one of those plastic, basically use it for embroidery. I got it in my hobbycraft shop long time ago. I got a sheet of it, and it comes in different shapes as well. And I think I might try and put some of these on here. Not sure how successful it's going to be because I'm not sure how visible it's going to be. Let's put it over lighter areas. Oh yeah, there you go. That shows up quite nicely. I have to watch out how much the paint is building up on here, remember, because I don't want it to become an issue. Did I say this comes in various sizes? I think it comes in a pack of 5 different sizes, if I remember correctly. And I wouldn't be surprised if I don't remember correctly. Right, that's that. Now I think all I want to do now is I want to come up with something to put the black on. And I'm definitely going to reach for a foam stamp that's got some sort of detail on it. And actually, I think I know exactly the foam stamp I want to use. Bear with me, just need to go and get it. Okay, it's this one. This is a PM Artist Studio foam stamp. I designed it. There's a link at the bottom of my description box that is always there. It says Ceri Griffiths Designs at PM Artist Studio. I believe this is called Mark Making Planets. I just love this one. So, and it's small. I'm thinking scale. That's another thing to think of. Do you purposely want to make something really big and bold if you've only got a 2-inch circle? I like to keep smaller because then I've got more chance of capturing detail. So I'm just going to come in with a little bit of the black. Don't need a lot. I can always add more to my gel plate. Now, as with everything, never looking for perfect. I hold my stamp and I press it slightly in the middle as I tap it up and down. And I move it around to make sure if you tilt it in the light, you will see you do have paint on there. So I'm just going to come in. Now, as I said, I don't know where on this page all of these labels are. I also don't need to stay within the rule of thirds or threes because this is all different layers. Also, I can go on a diagonal if I really choose or chose, because of course, these are circles. So it does mean that I can turn the circle when I use it which way I want. Okay, I'm liking that. Right, I will, give me a second. I just want to pause the video and stamp the rest of this off onto those papers there. And I'm back. I just want to take advantage and use up that spare paint. This one to me is finished. This will need something, but I think the next stage will do that. So I'm going to put this to one side so I don't mess it up. It'll go into my box of painty papers. Now, looking at these, I thought I just want something else. I want to put white into this again. And I've pulled out another one of my foam stamps. This is the small bubble wrap stamp, and it's because it's small, it'll be the correct size for this. I also cleaned up my gel plate because I didn't want to put white paint onto a black surface. So, because I'd end up with grey, obviously. Right, just spray that out. And again, I'm coming in. I tend to tap it in circles and take a look. You're not going to get an absolute perfect impression because I've designed it so that you will not. But see, it just, that's lovely. Now, I always make sure I don't have too much paint on my foam stamp because when I'm doing labels, I do not want to have a build-up because, again, I'm trying to be aware of the fact that I don't want to get paint down into the cracks and crannies of this. I've kind of forgotten where things are on here now, which is actually quite good. Let's go into there. I think that one, I don't know if there's anything up there, but it's going to get a little dab of that. It's all about the layers with me, as you will know if you follow me, which thank goodness a lot of you do. Thank you for that. Right, this will need to go into water to make sure it's dried. Oh, let's just push that up there and up there. Let's just bring in that bit of book page that I had and just use this up on there. See, this will just get torn up into collage paper. It'll be used for something else in the future. Which here's another bit I can put some on. Yeah, I have so much of this paper. I need to start doing more work with these papers. I love them and I use them, but I can't seem to use them as fast as I create them. Right, I'm going to need a 2-minute cleanup here. There you go, that didn't take long at all, probably about 2 or 3 minutes. These have just been drying naturally. I would say don't put hair dryers or heat guns onto labels, because what it does is it softens the glue and you'll find they'll start curling up or peeling away from the backing paper. And I found that once they come off the backing paper, it's a real hard job to stick them back down again. Also, when I use these labels, yes, they are sticky labels. I would usually use a glue stick just on the back, because I find that sometimes when you put paint on one side of a paper label, and obviously these are inexpensive ones, these are not Avery or any special brand, these are just cheap as chips labels, and sometimes the moisture penetrates the glue behind, so when you do peel it off, it doesn't always really stick. So again, as I said, I use a glue stick. You can use whatever glue you would normally use. Now it's time to take the backing papers off these. Now, I have nails, as you can see, they need a clean and they need a cut. But these labels don't have an area around the edge. Like some higher quality labels will give you an area you can pick at. I am not going to be digging at the edge of this because it'll take me forever. So what I do is I tend to bend my label back and I can see where the edge of this circle is. And then with my thumb, I'll just tear that little bit of the backing paper off. Now, you can save the backing paper if you wish and use it on other projects. I tend not to. Now, as you're peeling it back, peel it back carefully. If you think a label is going to be sticking, hold the label down and then continue to peel and it will come away. So see, those have taken on such a different character. There are elements on here I could use. Seriously, my studio has enough rubbish in it as it is. I'm not going to add more to it. So once again, with this, I find a corner, I peel this back until I can see the edge, just catch my thumbnail underneath it and pick it up. Now I find sometimes the smaller ones are the ones that stick. So I tend to put my finger down on roughly where the label is until I can see them. And the thing is to do this gently, guys. Don't go yanking them off, because if you yank them off, what's going to happen, you're going to pull all the labels off. Now, I do this as soon, see this one started to lift. I do this as soon as I finish making them, because as I said, if you've got paint build up, if the paint is still drying, you're less likely to tear the edge of your labels. If, however, you take them off and let them dry, then you've got a problem, because you could end up with them drying and attaching and tearing. I think that's a good little time done. So I love those. You never know where those will turn up. They may end up on an envelope. They may end up on a journal page. As I said, I'm about to do Mixed Media March 25 this month. Some of these could end up as elements on those. So hopefully you enjoyed that. Just a little technique. They don't have to be round. They don't have to be square, rectangle. If you've got full page labels, guys, don't forget, you can do all of this and then use your dies if you've got a die and cut out fancy shapes from them. Just a thought, just recycling some labels and some paint. So, who am I? I'm Ceri the Crafter. That's Ceri the Crafter. Until next time, goodbye, guys.